Taehyung delivers something that even Jungkook himself doesn't know until it all leaks out before their departure to Paris. What is Taehyung hiding? Why did this moment make HYBE staff speechless? And why could the gift make the army cry? Is this a farewell gesture or the beginning of something much bigger? Did you also feel that there was something unusual about the deep silence in the HYBE building that day? Why suddenly all the built-in cameras turned off a few minutes before the official training schedule? Why did Jungkook walk out of Taehyung's room with red eyes, without a word to the staff? This is no ordinary story about idle friendship. This is a story about one gift, one mysterious object that was never announced, never exhibited, but was leaked accidentally by someone who was in the room. Is this a coincidence? Or is there something much bigger being hidden? It all started the day before Taehyung's departure for Paris. All the members are busy with their schedules, except for one, Taehyung. It appears to have deliberately disappeared from view. Even his training schedule was cancelled, and his personal car was parked in HYBE's basement for almost 3 hours without it being known where the owner was going, and as night falls, only one person is called into the small room on the 4th floor, Jungkook. The call was not from the manager, nor was it from the training schedule, but directly from Taehyung himself. What happened in that room is still a big question mark. But one staff member, whose name was withheld for the security of the contract, said that there was a sound like a rag tear, then a subtle sound like the lid of a slowly closing music box. But what made the hair stand on end was when he heard Taehyung's voice say softly, "If you open this after I leave, you'll know why I can't speak directly." Why should there be something that Taehyung can't say directly to Jungkook? And why can the gift only be opened after Taehyung goes to Paris? The next morning, everything changed. Jungkook doesn't look like he used to. His gaze is blank, although he still smiles for the camera. However, during a brief interview by HYBE's documentation team, Jungkook rejected questions about the last moment with Taehyung before Paris. He just shook his head slowly and replied, "I'm not ready to answer that." A very unusual sentence from someone as powerful as Jungkook. However, things started to break down when one of HYBE's internal CCTV pieces leaked in a closed-door online community. The 12-second clip shows Taehyung walking hurriedly into a small room while holding something wrapped in a black cloth. There were no labels, no markings, but the fabric was clearly hiding something valuable. Even more surprising, as Taehyung stared at the object before entering the room, he seemed to be holding back tears. And before opening the door, he said softly to the surveillance camera that happened to highlight his face, "Please don't leak this to anyone, just let Jungkook know." But now everyone knows what exactly is the secret gift. Some sources say that Taehyung ordered the item from artisans in Italy, specifically made within 2 weeks with a personal symbol that only the two of them understood. Some said it was a kind of music box with a recording of Taehyung's voice singing an old song they used to sing when they were trainees. But the wildest rumor is that it contains Taehyung's handwritten letter, which reveals something he never said before. That a confession. Is that a promise? Or farewell? For sure, after the video was leaked, fans began to dig into all the little details. In one of the latest promotional photos released by HYBE, a new bracelet is seen on Jungkook's hand, a black leather bracelet with the name Taehyung engraved in small print. Jungkook never commented on the bracelet, but observant fans immediately realized the bracelet she had never worn before. And when combined with the time of the incident, the suspicion began to strengthen that the bracelet was part of Taehyung's secret gift. Furthermore, the army found another clue. In Jungkook's last post on Weverse before Taehyung's departure for Paris, he wrote only one short sentence, "Thank you, I won't miss this." Without context, without explanation, the gift. But what really shook the story was when a former HYBE staffer who once handled BTS's documentary content wrote anonymously, "If the public knew the true content of the gift, they would understand why Taehyung chose to remain silent." This is not just an ordinary gift. It's kind of an apology. Or maybe something even heavier. An apology? For what? Was there anything that happened between Taehyung and Jungkook before this that was never known to the public? Did their relationship break up? Or does Taehyung feel guilty about something we never see on camera? A fan who once saw their interaction backstage at one of the concerts wrote, They look like two people hugging each other wounds, but can't talk. And now, the secret gift has opened a huge door to emotions that had been hidden. Even Jungkook couldn't help but react during one of his latest live streams when a fan asked about Taehyung. He just smiled bitterly and said he knows. I know what he means. Simple sentence, but so deep. And leaves more questions. Is it all about separation? Or is it just the first step towards a new round of their relationship? Is the gift some kind of binder? A symbol of something that has been decided between them? To be sure, Taehyung's departure to Paris is not just a matter of schedule. But being a marker of emotions is much more complex. And one more thing. Until the second, there was not a single official statement from HYBE. As if they even know, this story is too deep to be explained with promotional sentences. Maybe it's not for us to understand, only for us to feel. And the question is now, will the gift appear in front of the public? Or it will remain a secret understood only by two hearts, one that once shared a stage, laughter, tears, and now a silence. The days after Taehyung left for Paris became a kind of unusual vacuum between the staff and fans. Not only because of his busy schedule abroad, but because of Jungkook's change in attitude that is starting to get everyone's attention. Usually, when BTS members go abroad, Jungkook is one of the most active to give support or simply say hello on social media. But this time it's different. He disappeared. Not a single new upload. There is no short live. No spontaneous selfies. There are no stories about his daily life. Jungkook seems to be pulling away from everything. The question is, what happens after the gift is received? A fan with keen observation noticed that in a workout video HYBE posted about 2 days after Taehyung's departure, Jungkook was seen holding something small in his hand before the workout began. He had time to look down inside, then put the object in his trouser pocket with a very careful movement. ARMY began to speculate. Was it a letter from Taehyung? But who would have thought that things that were once neatly hidden suddenly turned into fragments of emotional clues behind a very personal screen? One international fan who is known to be active in collecting behind-the-scenes pieces of BTS uploads short video compilations of various clips that not many people pay attention to. He pointed out how Jungkook, in one of his old interview sessions, once said that Taehyung was the only person who knew his secret dream. Secret dreams? And now Taehyung gives a very personal gift before going secretly to Paris, without bringing Jungkook along. Their relationship has always been a magnet for public attention. But this relationship is also more complex than can be described by the word best friend. Because behind the laughter, behind their singing and dancing, there is always a silence that feels deeper than mere familiarity. Some ARMYs started digging back through BTS's record runs, past concerts, to moments in old V-Lives, looking for something that might have gone unnoticed, something that could explain the content of the gift. And then, one finding from fans left the global community shaken. A fan from Japan reposted footage from Bon Voyage Season 4, which shows Taehyung and Jungkook sitting on a hotel balcony at night. Taehyung, who looked a little melancholy at the time, said to Jungkook, "If one day I have to go first, you have to take care of what I have left. But don't open it before it's time." At the time, those words sounded like a joke. But now, the ARMY took it as a foreshadowing. Has Taehyung been preparing something for a long time? And while fans were busy solving puzzles, HYBE was silent. HYBE's silence actually fuels speculation. Some sources say that the gift is stored in a small box with carved symbols that only BTS members recognize. It was also said that before his departure, Taehyung personally asked HYBE's security team to make sure no one could get into the rehearsal room that night. But one source mentioned something much more surprising. Taehyung cried that night. Not in tears, but in silence. He wiped away his tears when Jungkook wasn't looking, said a staffer who did not want to be named. He said, "I don't know when I'll be able to give this directly, so I have to do it now." Then, why is it as if this is the last moment? Why didn't you tell him when you were in Paris? Or when you came back? What is Taehyung hiding that makes him have to leave emotions in the form of gifts? And further, is it about something that happened in the past? Some longtime fans suspected that the gift was related to an incident 4 years ago, when Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship was reportedly strained. Even though they looked familiar again, not a few soldiers believed that there were old wounds that any. The silence that hung after the leak of HYBE's CCTV footage not only provoked thousands of speculations, but also prompted various international fan accounts to conduct a deeper investigation. Not a few of them tried to collect every smallest detail of Taehyung and Jungkook's interaction for 2 weeks before departure for Paris. And what they found was shocking. In one of the dance practice vlogs that was never released to BTS's main channel, but was leaked exclusively to paid communities, Taehyung is seen repeatedly looking at the clock, as if he is waiting for something or someone. But what was more surprising was not her tense expression, but the lip movement that was caught on camera. A genius fan managed to read Taehyung's lip movements. If he doesn't come, I still love this. Him is the he Jungkook? And is it true that the evening meeting was actually threatened with cancellation? A HYBE staffer on duty on the night shift confirmed that Jungkook was late to the building that day. He was even asked to return because training had been cancelled. But before long, there's a direct call from Taehyung to manager Jungkook's phone. It contains only one sentence. If he doesn't come now, I will disappear without saying anything. What does the word lost mean? To Paris? Or more than that, what made things even more complicated was Jungkook's reaction after the meeting. In the rear-view camera footage of the building, he can be seen going out alone, walking slowly while clutching something he had hidden under his jacket. He did not take the car directly. He stood on the sidewalk behind HYBE for almost 10 minutes. And in one of the moments captured by the parking camera, Jungkook sat down, then looked down deeply, as if holding something against his chest. Shortly after, he posted a strange sentence on his Instagram story. Just one word. Finally. There is no context. There is no emoji. No photos. Just one word provokes 1,000 questions, finally. Finally, what? Has Jungkook finally received something he's been waiting for? Or rather, has he finally lost someone he never thought would leave so soon? Fans who have followed their closeness since the beginning of their careers know very well that Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship is not an ordinary one. From the trainee days, from the laughter that was so innocent, from the silent gazes that sometimes didn't need words, all of that had formed something that only the two of them understood. But there are wounds. Wounds that are not always visible. A wound that may have been ingrained long ago. One of the videos that went viral on Twitter was during BTS's run, when Taehyung once said, "Sometimes, if I lose Jungkook for a while, I feel like I'm losing my way." That time, everyone laughed. But now? The sentence feels like a prologue to something darker and emotional, and as past videos began to be parsed one by the ARMY, a behind-the-scenes cut from the 2019 Love Yourself, Speak Yourself concert emerged. Taehyung is seen writing something backstage, then handing it secretly to Jungkook. The camera was able to capture a glimpse of the contents of the paper. If one day we have to walk a different path, remember? I still see the same stars as you. That sentence, which at that time was considered a form of friendship poetry, is now a truly heartbreaking moment. Has Taehyung been preparing to split up for a long time? Meanwhile, news of Taehyung's departure to Paris begins to attract global media attention. But interestingly, none of the official reports mention Jungkook, as if his existence was deliberately removed from the narrative. Even in a short interview at the airport, when asked about Jungkook, Taehyung only answered with one meaningful sentence. He knows what I mean. That's enough. What is enough? All this is not about parting, rather than a silent confession. What made fans' emotions really burst was when HYBE released an unexpected teaser cut for Taehyung's documentary project in Paris. In one brief scene, Taehyung is seen sitting by his hotel window, holding a small piece of paper. And despite the invisibility of the written content, fans with the ability to read upside down managed to catch part of the sentence reflected from the glass. For the ones I've always thought about, I hope this takes care of you in my absence. The sentence was met with online hysteria. The hashtag for Jungkook immediately became a world-trending topic, and further than that, ARMY begins to question, is this all actually part of a grand narrative that the two of them have been secretly designing? Or is this a reality that was never meant to be public consumption, but eventually leaked? Because now the line between reality and performance is beginning to blur. The emotions behind the gift are no longer just speculation, but it has become an open wound shared by accident, by an unavoidable event. And in that sea of questions, the one thing that haunts everyone the most: did Jungkook finally open the gift? And if so, what was his reaction? Why didn't a word come out of his mouth about it? Why did he choose to be silent when the whole world was waiting for an answer? Maybe the answer is not for all of us. Perhaps the gift is not just about one thing. It's about promises, about flavors that can